All right, so this last video for objects is going to run these two programs. So the first one is going to create an employee class, and then the second one's going to do an entire employee management system. Okay, so for this first one, it says write a class named employee that holds the following data about an employee in attributes name, ID number, department, and job title. Once you have written the class, write a program that creates 3 employee objects to hold the following data. Name. So here are all your names, ID numbers, departments. The program should store the data in the 3 objects and display the data for each employee on the screen. Okay. So this first one should be pretty easy. Alright, so file, save as, and I created a Python OOP folder. There we go. And this is going to be our employee class. So I'm just going to call this employee. And I'll file new, save as, and this will be main employee. Okay, so let's see here. Class, employee. Okay, so define. Job title. Alright, so that sets up our initial constructor. Okay, then we're going to have sets and gets for all these, and then we're going to display self here in a second. So define set name, Okay, so I have all, this is going to be easy. I mean, so the next one is what department? And the last one, so we got 1, 2, 3. Last one is going to be job title. create getters, so I'm going to copy that. So those are going to be our get name. Only we don't have name there, we just got self. And this needs to be what, return? Get return. Alright, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Name, ID, department, job title. Excuse me. Sorry. Self. Return. Alright, so in this last one, this is going to return the object state as a string. Okay, so I think this looks good. I mean, I'll know in a minute if I screwed something up. Okay. Alright, so let's see here. From employee, import employee. Okay, so we import the employee. Then we're going to create the 3 employee objects. So we can say employee 1 is equal to employee, and we got Susan Myers 47899. She works in accounting. Her job title is vice president. Jones 39119 IT and is a programmer. Yeah, spelled that long. Joy Rogers. Manufacturing. And they are an engineer. Alright, and so here I can just do like print employee 1. So let's run this. Hopefully I don't have any errors. Name equals name. Okay, yeah, that makes sense, duh. So save that. Okay, and pause this. Alright, so this is what we had when I ran this. Okay, so this is actually printing the employee objects, and really this means nothing. This is just their objects and their object in memory. But I want to print this right here, this information. I don't want that right there. So I think I'm going to just do this a little bit differently. This should work. Because this is actually calling this .print function I create in here, which overrides, because it's the employees calling this print right here, and then it's just going to print this information. Let me see if this should work. Let me save this because I think I had like a comma in here or something that I got rid of. Okay, good. So it does print the object, but I want to print a string representation of the object. So that's the string representation. And so there I create my objects. So that's this first program. It should store the data in the 3 object and display. Okay, cool. So that's all that does. So that first one's done. Alright, so number 2, employee management system. And this one's going to take a little while. This one's not an easy one to write. It says this exercise assumes that you have created the employee class for programming. Exercise 4, create a program that stores employee objects in a dictionary. I remember dictionaries have key value pairs. So just thinking off the top of my head, the key is probably going to be the ID number because that's unique. Use the employee ID number as a key. The program should represent a menu that lets the user perform the following actions. Look up an employee in the dictionary, add a new employee to the dictionary, change an existing employee's name, department, and job title in the dictionary, and delete an employee from the dictionary. quit the program. When the program ends, it should pickle the data and save it to a file. Each time the program starts, it should try to load the pickle data from the file, pickle dictionary from the file. If the file does not exist, the program should start with an empty dictionary. Alright, so let's look up this term pickled. A pickle dictionary. Alright, so this is what I came up with. The pickle module implements binary protocols for serializing and deserializing a Python object structure. Pickling is the process whereby a Python object hierarchy is converted into a byte stream. And unpickling is the inverse operation where a byte stream from a binary file is converted back into an object hierarchy. Pickling and unpickling is alternatively known as serialization, marshalling, or flattening. So Python uses pickling and unpickling. Alright, so when I read this, I said an object is converted into a byte stream, and I go, okay, well, what are they talking about with byte stream? So I looked that up. So we did stuff with binary conversion. So this is 1 bit, and 8 bits is 1 byte. Cool. Should be easy to understand. So we've got this byte stream. So here's our ASCII characters code, CODE, and this is the binary byte right there, the 8-digit binary, and this is the decimal representation of that. Alright, so that looks good. So basically it's going to break your dictionary object down into a byte stream. It pickles a dictionary and saves it to a file, so your information gets saved to a file. So we're going to save it as, I don't know, employee dot, and I think when I saw this, it's a .dat file. Okay, the file. Okay, so the file doesn't exist. All right. So now, what's weird is that when it's saved, it actually. Well, I'll show you. There's something else here too that's important, but I'll get to that in a little bit. All right, main. So this is for program 1. For this one, okay. So we aren't going to need it anymore. But you might want to keep, I'll just keep it in here just in case, I mean. Alright. So, when we first create this thing, our file does not exist. So, we can't create a dictionary. Well, we can't, so it doesn't exist, so we're going to create a blank dictionary, right? I think that's what it said. It says, when a program ends, it should pickle the dictionary and save it to the file. Each time the program starts, it should try, so we're going to use this word try, to load the pickle dictionary from the file. If the file does not exist, the program should start with an empty one. Okay, cool. So, as you can see, there's no .dat file in here. It's going to end up being like a notepad file, but it doesn't exist yet. So, we are going to try, and we're going to have an input file, and we're going to have to open it. And again, it doesn't exist, so whatever, for the first time. We'll call it employees.dat. And we are going to give it read binary permission. So we'll say employee dictionary is equal to, I think it's pickle dot load. We'll load the input file. Okay. And if it exists, then we store it in the employee dictionary. And then input file dot close, and you close it. Then we got this: if no such file exists, create a new dictionary. So try except so you try it. If it works, it finds it, it loads it. If it doesn't, then then what you'll do is you'll employee dictionary equals blank, and we'll create it. Okay. All right, so from here, we've got to, let me think here, we're going to do define a display menu. Display users option, menu, and ask for a choice. So remember, we got to lookup, add, change, delete, and quit. I need to do that because I think I'm going to need to look at these. Okay. So print. Employee print lookup and employee. Now, you can't look up an employee if it doesn't exist yet. So that's the thing. We're going to want to probably build this add first because we want to add information to it, an employee to it, and then we can check to see if they exist by looking them up. All right. So then let's see here. Add a new employee. Change an existing employee. We're going to delete an existing employee. Save and quit. Okay. So then we're gonna, after we're done with that, we'll have a menu choice is equal to input. Sorry, what do I need to do? Int input. Enter an option to continue. And we need to return the menu choice. Okay, that's pretty easy. So that creates our menu. So here we will say the choice is equal to our display menu, which we just created. So what that does is that will call the display menu right here. This will print up. The user will enter a menu choice, and then we'll return the menu choice, okay? Let's see here. Now, from here, I can do a while loop. While choice is not equal to 5. If the choice is equal to 1, then what we'll do is we'll say look up, and then we'll pass in the employee dictionary. Okay. If choice equals 2, we will add the employee dictionary. So we're going to pass that on. We'll add information to it. This is looking up the information in the dictionary. This is adding to it. Choice 3, what's 3? Change. So we'll create change. Delete. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do here. So if they don't enter 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4, then we'll just print you entered an incorrect menu item. And then they have to again do this choice. Okay. And then if they enter 5, which is save and quit, then we'll run the save quit function. And again, we will pass in the dictionary. All right. So I think this opens up our employees file, and the input file gets loaded into the dictionary. All right, and then if not, then we have a blank dictionary. We've got our menu system built up, and so now, I mean, I can't really run this because if I enter the information, it will do lookup, and that doesn't exist yet or does anything. So, but that, like, we're on the right path. So I'm actually going to add information first to it so we can test number 2 first. Even though, you know what, I'll create these. That's fine. Define lookup. And the dictionary is passed in. We'll do define add, and the dictionary gets passed in. Define change, and the dictionary gets passed in. find delete. And again, the dictionary gets passed in. Change, delete, and save quit. Again, the dictionary gets passed. Okay, cool. So, if we want to add a new employee, we have to enter in the employee number and what else is there? Sorry, the name, the number, department, and the job title. Okay, so name is equal to input, enter the name of the employee, ID number is going to be equal to int input enter the employee ID number. What's next? Department, then job title. So we got department. Enter the employee department, job title, enter the employee job title. All right, so we're going to create an object called entry, and we will take employee, and we will add the what? Name, ID number, department, and job title to, so this creates the object, you know, right here when it gets initialized. And then we'll say the dictionary with its ID number as its key is equal to the entry. Okay. And then we can just, we don't have to do this, but dictionary ID number to make sure it gets added. And then if we get here, you know, it's probably good to tell the user that the employee was added. Was added successfully. All right. So, in my mind, we'll add like 2 or 3 employees, all right? But this does not add it to the pickled file yet, okay? It says here, it says if the file does not exist, the program should start. Okay, wait. When the program ends, it should pickle the data and save it to a file. All right, so I then need to write save quit to pickle the data so that you can see, you know, the information gets added to the file. Okay, so this pickles the dictionary and saves to a file. Okay, so we'll have the output file. We'll have to open it. And it's going to be called employees.dat. Okay, it's the same as the input file. And we're going to write binary to it. All right. And then we're going to pickle.dump. We're going to dump all the dictionary data to it. So we're going to dump all the dictionary data to the output file, okay? Then we're going to close the output file. Then we'll just print goodbye. Goodbye. All right, let's see here. See if I have any major errors yet. Yeah! Unexpected. What? Oh, shoot. Let's do that. It's probably want some information in these, and I don't have any yet, so let's comment those out. All right. So far, so good. So we're going to add, so the employee name, I don't know, Jim 1111, department, accounting, and Jim will be an accountant. And then let's say Jane 2222, department, I don't know, marketing, sales manager, and then 5. Name, oh! Alright, no big deal. I forgot to import pickle. Import pickle. This is why this is going to take a while. Anytime I mess up, I'm going to enter the data again too. So, name, Jim, accounting. Okay, alright, yeah, that's fine, no worries. Enter an option. 2. Jane. Department. Sales manager. Goodbye. All right, let's see if it did it. And if it didn't, I know why. If it didn't, nope, it did. So let's look at this. Yeah, it's like hieroglyphics. Okay, so didn't we just say it was going to be? Now you can see some of it: employee, employee name, employee number, employee department, accounting, so on and so forth. But a lot of this is just all messed up. So I go back to what I was searching for in here. Let's see. So I wanted to know why. So let's read this. The reason, okay, I want to know where that hieroglyphic stuff came from. So the reason files that are binary display as gibberish when viewed in standard text editors such as Notepad is because when displayed with the encoding commonly used by these types of applications, we're used to seeing ASCII. The data is mapped to characters when it is encoded for display. The output of this process generally makes as little sense to humans as binary data being mapped, ergo the gibberish you see. Yes, WordPad and Notepad and many other text editors assume that any file you open it with is a text file and will try to display the ASCII characters represented by the bytes in the file. Hex editors are made to view the edit binary files. They usually display, so I don't have a hex editor. I could probably download one, but that's why, I did explain that properly, that this is a byte stream, but it's in, I need a hex editor to view it, not a text editor like Notepad. But anyway, we now have our two people, Jim and Jane, and remember their employee ID was 1111 and 2222, because we're going to have to look them up next. So we'll write lookup now. Okay, so look up the ID number if it is in the dictionary. Okay, so ID number. So we're going to ask the user, hey, enter the ID number. Enter the employee ID number. So if the ID number is in the dictionary, then we'll print the name. Get the name. So and what's the last one? The job. So we're getting those from here. So get name, get ID number, get department, and get job title. So we would print that. Else, they don't exist, right? If you can't find them, then they don't exist. That ID number was not found. Okay. So run. So now we do have a pickle file with all the information, so we can look this up. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Employee object has no attribute underscore name. Dictionary. Alright, I think I figured out what I did wrong here. It's kind of annoying. Alright, you have to have 2 underscores here. Alright, so now let's save that. Let's run this again. Oh, there we go. There's our Jim. His ID number and an accountant. Alright, cool. So, and then I'm going to get rid of that display right here. I don't need that. Let me just run it again, make sure the Jane information pops up. So, 1. Alright, so we looked up Jane, sales manager. Okay, cool. So that was just an error in here while I was debugging that I needed 2 underscores. Alright, so we know lookup works, we know add works. What do we got next? Change. Alright, let's see here. Change. We got. We'll add that back in. Change. We will add a new employee. An ID number. No, wrong one. Change. If the user entered ID is in the dictionary, let's change the info. Whoops. Enter the employee ID you would. Okay. So again, if ID number is in the dictionary, dictionary keys, name equals enter the new employee name. Where do you enter new employee job title? Alright, so from here, then we're going to do entry again. That's going to equal employee, and we're going to pass in the name, same ID number, department, and job title. And then dictionary. Dictionary what? Dictionary ID number is equal to entry. Do a quick print statement. Employee. So the employee changed successfully, else that employee was not found. So let's try this one now. So again, if we look up, we've got Jim. Okay, so then we can change. All right, change in O. Yep, I spelled something wrong. Okay. All right, run that again. So change the employee 1, 2, 3, 4, and the name, instead of Jim, it's gonna be John, and he is in. What's a division that he's in? He can be in. I don't know. I don't know. What is Jim? Jim was an accountant, so John's gonna be a I don't know. Manufacturing as engineer. So then that was supposed to change employee ID 1111. So then we can look that up to make sure that a change occurred. So then 1, 2, 3, 4. And so it is John 1111 manufacturing. All right, so that works. That's awesome. Okay, and the last one. We'll say if the user entered ID is in dictionary, delete the entry. ID number equals input. Sorry, input, and this video is getting really long, so I don't know. This is a long program. This is the longest one for this entire class. Enter the employee ID you would like to remove. If ID number in dictionary delete the dictionary. Print employee removed successfully, else print that employee was not found. So that's nice. It just finds the ID in the dictionary and deletes it. So I actually, when I screwed up with my double underscores, I created, here, we can do this. Let's quit this, so 5. All right, so let's do this again. I created run, and I'll just show you run. Let's see here, lookup, and I created an employee 3333. No, I did not. I guess not. Either way, let's do this one. Okay, John's there, so let's delete John. Employee removed. So 5. No. Let's look it up. That employee is not found. Okay, so 5, we quit, goodbye. So let's run this again and look up, not found. Okay, 2, 2, 2, 2. So let's do this. 1. Wait a second. What did I do here? You entered. Oh, now I'm getting confused here. What happened? Where was this at? So if I entered, that wasn't found. Enter an option 2222, of course. So I entered this. That's not a correct menu item. Okay, yeah. But when I enter this now, Jane exists. If I enter 1, John doesn't exist anymore. Let's try this again. Yeah, no idea. Okay, cool. So all of that seems, I think it works. It seemed like it worked. Well, I mean, we did test all of them. So, and it's getting long. This is almost an hour long video for this program. So, anyway, that's kind of a lot, for what we're doing in this class. But this is kind of a good program to wrap up the course. I think this is probably enough for the intro class. Everything in objects we hit at the very end of the semester, and we don't even write programs with them. I mean, we kind of do. There's a little bit with objects, object-oriented in it, but this is much more in-depth than anything we did in class for our grades. So this video is done.